Here we go. All right, here, let's try this again. Testing, testing. Hi, can you hear me now, everybody? Testing. Hi. Somebody's watching me, so let me know if you can hear me. I'm using a brand new streaming service called OBS so that I can do some screen sharing and stuff. So let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Hear me now, Kevin? How about now? Okay, Kelsey can hear me, so that's good. So welcome, everybody. Okay, good. So welcome. Thank you for joining me for Basics of Google Analytics for Financial Coaches. I am going to try to come back to some comments, and I'll do it that way. That's good. Okay. So, let me go here. Perfect. All right, cool. So today, I really wanted to introduce the concept of Google Analytics to everyone. This is really a basic training video on the basics of Google Analytics. I feel like with my experience, either you can do the basics of Google Analytics, everything I'm going to train you on today, and be perfectly fine. Or you can go super advanced, which I don't think is going to suit any of us that well. I think advanced would be more for people that are selling a lot of different things, doing a lot of social media marketing, spending a lot of money on marketing, and they want to know specifically where their marketing leads and conversions are coming from. So I think you're really going to be fine with the basics of Google Analytics. Let me set my phone right there too. No. Let's put it over here. Sorry, I gotta have a place to put my phone so I can see comments. This is all new territory. So OBS is a really neat. It's a free software you can download for Mac and Windows, and that basically is what what's the other live thing that Garrett uses and everybody else uses? So basically, it can sync Zoom and screen sharing for Facebook Live and make it streamlined and more easy. So I have that going on right now. So for those of you that don't know me, see, I just this neat transition into my screen, but my name is Michael Dickey, along with my wife, Kelsa. We are the moderators of Financial Coaches Unite. We are also financial coaches. We own our own business called Fiscal Fitness Phoenix, and we have a financial coach training course called Financial Coach Academy, which I'll just plug it right now. The first live session, actually the next live session starts September 5th. And you can check that out at financialcoachacademy.com. So the purpose of this training video, again, is to go over Google Analytics, to help you understand the benefits of Google Analytics in general. What are the benefits to you? How to get an account set up. I'm going to show you how to do that. All the metrics that Google Analytics gives you, the most important ones that I think that you can follow. Keep it simple. How to do that regularly, how to keep track of them, how to interpret those numbers to tell you what you need to change or do, and how to have some strategies to improve those numbers. So you could really, like I was saying before, you could go super basic and be completely fine. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, do the basics, get a ton of information as you progress your website and changing your content and updating things and using those metrics to improve overall everything. You can do 5 to 10 minutes a month, a week. I don't think you really need to spend much more than that on Google Analytics right now, which is a great thing, right? We are all busy with our own life and businesses that we don't want to spend any more time than we need to. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and going over Google Analytics and just kind of talking you through everything that you need to look at, how to set it up, where everything is, just kind of like a screen share tutorial for everything for you. And then I have a spreadsheet that I'm going to share with you, and I'll upload that to the Facebook group, and you can just download that and use that to track your own measures. Just so I know, in the comments here, I'd like you to post either beginner, intermediate, or advanced. let me know where you think you are with Google Analytics. Are you a beginner? You use it maybe, you have it synced, but you don't know how to use it. You've never synced it at all. You've never used it before. Are you intermediate? Have you been using it for a little bit? You track it a little bit. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more, or you advanced and you really geek out on Google Analytics. And you'll probably find that this presentation is not going to help you, but it might. So just let me know where you're at, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Right now, just write that in there. Thank you, Racine. She's a beginner. There's some beginners. Kelsey's a beginner, but she's got me, so that doesn't matter. So I talked about Financial Coach Academy Live. Some other things that are coming up are FinCon, which is in Orlando, the last week of September. FinCon is a big 3 or 4 day event in Orlando this year, which merges the financial community and media. So the bloggers that blog about money. Mr. Money Mustache is going to be there. Chris Hogan, is that right? Is everybody Chris Hogan? Is going to speak there. So these big people that are on huge web presence, social media, and also finance. It's a great event. Kelsey and I are going. Garrett is going from Financial Coaches Community. There are a ton of people from Financial Coaches Unite that are going. So if you are going, give me a type FinCon and let me know. So there's that. Also, for those of you that are going, on the Thursday of FinCon at 7 p.m., we are hosting a Financial Coaches happy hour, get-together, cocktail hour, whatever you want to call it. It's fairly unofficial, so just show up about 7 o'clock at the pub in Orlando, which is right down the street, a cheap Uber ride from the FinCon location. We'll see you there. We'll have some drinks, and it's really fun for us, and I think for everybody here, that we've been talking to a ton of to all of you for so long, but we've never really met face to face. So it's a time for us to all meet face to face. Shake your hand, give you a hug, and just chat and have fun and have a couple drinks and maybe sing some karaoke. If they even do that. But maybe there'll be some unofficial impromptu karaoke by a few people, I'm sure too. So hopefully see you there that Thursday of FinCon, September 27th, I believe it is, at 7 p.m. Orlando time at the pub Orlando, right down the street from the event. What else is going on? Also, just as a teaser, we are having our financial coaching symposium. It's April 26th and 27th of 2019, so stay tuned for that. That's a live 2-day financial coaching seminar where it's basically going to be learn and plug and play and go. A lot of great content, a lot of great workshops, a lot of great seminars, a lot of great training topics, a lot of great things that we either don't teach in Financial Coach Academy or extra behind the scenes things that we do or trainings that we do. It's in person, it's live, it's in Arizona in April, which is probably the best time to come here, and it's fun. It's another great way to meet with other financial coaches. It looks like we've got a lot of beginners, so Be Live is what that other thing is called. Kelso, thank you. So Be Live is the other streaming service that I'm using OBS for. So how does everybody like the OBS? Is it looking pretty good right now? And it's neat. You can kind of transition between scenes that you want and graphics and all that other kind of stuff. But what I'm going to do now is hop right into me sharing my screen, which I think is right there. Perfect, cool. All right, there it is. It works. So before I get started, one more thing I want you to type in there to make sure that you guys are all here with me live and paying attention is to watch or type "Hey Google," because Google's probably listening anyways. So it's just fun. So let me know, "Hey Google." Let me know if you can see me. All right. So cool. Okay, we're streaming now. Awesome. So this is what Google Analytics and my phone, which is a Google phone, when I said that HEY Google, it started to search for me. So hopefully it's not blinking. I see that it was blinking there for a second. Hopefully it's not blinking anymore. If that is, that's super annoying and I apologize. So we'll get started. So I think the biggest thing that we can all agree on, that pretty much everybody agrees on, is that statistics and metrics, especially for websites, really matters, right? Carl Pearson, the father of modern statistics, said that which is measured improves, that which is measured and reported improves exponentially. So if you're doing yourself a disservice, you're not tracking your metrics and your measures at least a little bit. So hopefully with Google Analytics, you're able to track, just do the basics, but you're going to get a big bang for your buck as far as your return and measuring and knowing where people are coming from, so that you can modify and adjust and change, and then watch your metrics grow or not, and just continue. So it's a way to monitor your metrics, especially your website. So we're talking about your website, and see if that really helps. And Tom said that my HEY Google turned his phone on too, so that's kind of funny. So what is Google Analytics? Google Analytics is a free web analytics tool, and I'm just reading exactly what Google said. A free web analytics tool offered by Google to help you analyze your website traffic so that you can identify strengths and weaknesses of your website and continue to improve metrics as you improve your marketing presence. A lot of metrics from Google Analytics are actually used in their algorithm for SEO. So if you have poor analytics in your Google, you're going to have poor SEO. So it's a way so you can monitor your SEO from your website specifically. So Google Analytics basically syncs to your website and monitors a couple different things. It monitors demographics, it monitors behavior, and it monitors your conversions. And I'm going to go over those right now. So demographics is basically your target audience, and who are the people that are on your website. Are they male or female? How old are they? Where are they coming from? What are they using to get to you? Are they using your phone? Is it an iPhone or an Android phone? Is it a Mac computer or a Windows computer? Is it a desktop or is it mobile or a tablet? It tells you all these things. Where are they in the United States or another country? What language do they speak? What city are they coming from? You can get down to the city and the detail. What are their interests? All this stuff, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about here. All of this stuff helps you focus on your marketing message, right? So if you are a financial coach that specifically, your ideal client is a woman that is going through a divorce, or a small business owner, or a small business owner that specializes in the tech industry. I mean, you can be as specific as you want with Google Analytics, and your target age for your group is 45 to 50, you can use Google Analytics to tell you if the people that are on your website are actually lining up with your ideal client. So also, not only the demographics, but what are their behaviors? How did they get to your website? Was it a direct link? Did they type in financialcoachacademy.com in their browser to get to you? Was it from a search engine that they actually typed in Google, Financial Coach Phoenix, Arizona, or Financial Coach Training Course, or Financial Coach Academy, and that's how they got onto your website? Was it a referral? Was it a referral from social media? Was it a referral from Reddit? Was it a referral from another blog post? That will tell you. And then you can look at that and be like, you know what, a majority of my direct links to my website are coming from referrals, but I have no social media presence, or no direct links, or no search engine optimization, no search engine. I would need to update my metrics or my SEO to make that better. Also, it'll let you measure your effectiveness of your website. So, is your website engaging? Are people coming back to it time and time again to get more useful information? Are they staying engaged for a very long time on your website, or they get on your website and they leave immediately because whatever they got onto was not what they were looking for, or wasn't optimized, and they leave immediately? It will tell you that. And really, the customers that stay on longer, that they stay on and are engaged for a long time, that they come back to your website, or they read multiple pages within your website, are more than likely going to convert, and whatever that means for you. So whether a conversion could be whether you schedule a Q&A session, a free 15-minute Q&A session, or a conversion for you would be maybe they sign up for a newsletter, or maybe they sign up for a Eureka session, or that initial 2-hour coaching session that is paid. So whatever your goal is for your website it's going to help you figure out if it's helping you reach that goal. If not, you can change it this way, this way, this way, and it'll give you some ideas and insights into how to improve that. So that's really the big grand scheme of things of what Google Analytics is going to help you do. So basically what you need is a website, first of all, and a Google account. So you might already have a Gmail account. That's awesome. That's what you can use. If you don't have a Google account of any kind, just sign up for a free Gmail account, or just go to analytics.google.com, and it will ask you to either sign up or sign in with your Gmail account, and it's going to get you to here basically once you do sign up. So here's really once you sign up for Google Analytics, you're going to basically, and you've never used it before, this is what the screen is going to look like to add a new website. Okay, so I'm just going to test this. So this website is going to be, actually I'm going to do it this way. And we'll go like this. Test. And then the website name is going to be Financial Coaching Symposium, because pretty soon here we're going to be launching the website specifically for the Financial Coaching Symposium, and this is going to be for that. So the account name can just be, you have multiple accounts. So if you have multiple websites, this would be the account name. So I have Financial Coaching Academy, I have Financial Coaching Symposium, and I have Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. Those are my account names. The specific website name would be Financial Coaching Symposium, and the actual URL would be www.financialcoachingsymposium.com. I also have the financialcoachingsymposium.com, which I can look at separately, right? Industry category would be finance, probably. Look at your time zone, make sure that's good. Looks great to me. All these things are recommended. You don't have to do them. I would do them just because I think most of this stuff is pretty advanced, but you can decide on your own whether you want to do this stuff. And then you get your tracking ID. Accept, I accept. Okay. So, and it's loading. And so there are a couple different ways for you to actually use this. Now, depending on your web hosting platform, whether you use WordPress or Strikingly or Wix or GoDaddy or whatever you're using, each different website probably has their own preferred way to do this. So I'm going to just briefly talk about it, but I want you to do some research on your own for your own web hosting site on how specifically to do this, because WordPress has its own plugin where you can sync it through their plugin and not have to do it this way. If there are other ways where you can do it, where this is your website global tag for Google Analytics, you would copy and paste this into your HTML for your website. And if that is over your head, search through your website first and say how to sync Wix to Google Analytics or how to sync WordPress to Google Analytics. And there's probably a plugin where it's way easier than having to basically you copy and paste this tag into your HTML of your header for your website, and it's in there, and that's how it uses. So basically, every time somebody goes on your webpage, now that this is synced, it sends a little cookie back to Google Analytics to let you know the information that we're looking for. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. It's as simple as that. You can also integrate into your website. So whatever you feel works best for you, that's what I'd recommend you do. Okay. Somebody have any questions on that? It's because there are so many different ways to do it. I gave you the two options: either a plugin through your website or create your global site tag and copy and paste it into the HTML on your config line. It says right here, etc. Okay. So hopefully you don't have any more questions, but if you do, let me know. All right, so now I am actually going to be using the Google Merchandise Store demo because they have a lot more numbers than what I have on Financial Coach Academy and Fiscal Fitness Phoenix, and so you can really get an idea of what the size of the sample size is a lot bigger than what we have going on right now. So once you get into, you have everything linked. It might take a day or two for it to actually link correctly and start to collect data, so give it some time. but the more and more that you are going along, the more data that you're going to get. So this is, if once you click on home here on the left hand side, this is basically kind of an overview of some very important things. So over the last 7 days, Google has had 13,000 users. Here's the revenue they've made. They've had some goals and some conversion stuff set in, which we can talk about that briefly here. Sessions, it actually tells you how many active users are on their website right now. So it just kind of gives you a broad strokes overview. You know, by device, 4.7 is mobile, which is 28.5%, 68.9% is from a desktop, 2.6% is from tablet, etc. 50 some is from the United States. So it's just a kind of an overview, but I'm going to help you get into the nitty gritty of everything here by using this kind of stuff. So we're going to get into the real the statistics of starting with the audience. Okay, so audience basically talks about users and sessions and page views and things that you want to keep track of. And the idea is that for most of these things, there's no benchmarks. There's no like it should be between X and Z, and if you're outside of those, it's really, you know, performing poorly. There's no benchmarks for these things, but I think over time what you want to do is see that they're improving. Either the number is going up if we want it to go up, or down if we want it to go down, depending on the actual statistic and the metric. So just keep track of these over time and make sure that they're progressing the right way. Okay, so a user is a unique visitor to your site. Okay, so that is, I'm a user and Kelsey is a user, and it's basically a cookie from my website or my computer that has been tracked. Okay, a session, on the other hand, one user can have multiple sessions. So a session is typically if I go at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm there for 27 minutes on one website, and then I go back at 6 o'clock at night, one user has had 2 sessions. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's why you look at these numbers, that there's more sessions than users. So if my math in my head is correct, there's a difference of about exactly 3,000 users between this session and the user, right? So 3,000 people have had multiple sessions, or possibly, you know, so that there are multiple sessions compared to these many users, okay? Page views right here are the specific number of pages that have been viewed, okay? So you can have multiple pages viewed per session per user. So the exact number of times your pages on your website have been viewed is 76,000 times. That's another statistic. So as far as users go, more is better. So over the course of months and months of tracking Google Analytics, you want the number of users to slowly increase, okay? Sessions is the same thing. Over time, you want more and more sessions, okay? If it starts to go down, you know that something is wrong, either one of those. Page views also another thing that you want to slowly seeing increase over time, okay? If it goes down, it's bad. Average session duration for this specific website is 2 minutes 41 seconds. For these, longer is better. One, that plays right into Google SEO, right? So the longer somebody is looking at your website, they feel that it is more valuable and they're going to rank you higher on your SEO. So you want it to be longer. Now, typically, I think we're looking for something, according to my research, something longer than 2 minutes, okay? That I don't know, but over time, the longer the better. So the longer the better means that they're reading your content, or they're watching videos on your website, or they find that it's really valuable and they're watching for more and more and more. So hopefully you guys, I just had something went weird on my phone, so I'm just making sure that you guys can still see me. We're still good, right? Give me a thumbs up really fast. So I'll keep going here, but I'll watch for my thumbs up. So some things to improve session duration. Here are some things to be conscious of, because we want your reader staying on your page for as long as possible. So you want them to be reading a lot, okay? And so suggestion would be 2,000 words per post or page or longer than that, so that they're actually staying on there and having to read each time, okay? Um, Posting a video summarizing or talking more about the specific topic on that site. So if you embed a YouTube video on your talking about the topic on your blog post that we're of the post in question, I should say. So say you have a blog post on getting out of debt, right? And you go over your debt payoff strategy in text. It's longer than 2,000 words. You also record yourself having a video of you talking about your debt payoff strategy as well. Maybe you go a little bit more in depth. Maybe you answer a couple Q&A questions. Whatever that video would be, you embed that and you post that on the same blog post. On that page, they're going to read and watch the video, and they're going to be on that page for 2, 5, 10 minutes because they're reading and watching the video, right? So you want them to be on your page, that specific page, as long as possible. Okay. So the longer you can get them to stay on a page, the better. Also, that plays right into bounce rate. Okay. So a lot of people had specific questions on bounce rate, which is one big metric that is fairly important, especially for SEO, Google SEO specifically, but I'm sure all SEO. But bounce rate is when a user, for us, it's a prospect or a customer, right, visits your site on any page. So they could go right to your main page, they can go right to any specific page, and leaves without visiting other pages on the same domain that is a bounce. So say I go to look at somebody else's website. I'm like, yeah, this is not really what I'm looking for. Exit, back, whatever. I bounced, right? If I didn't look at any other specific page, that's not a bounce because I found something that I found valuable on their page and I clicked it. I went to another page on their specific domain that doesn't get included in the bounce rate. So that's a low bounce compared to a high bounce. So the lower this rate is, the better. So here are some specifics that I thought were, as a rule of thumb, some bounce rates and a range that we're looking for, okay? So 26 to 40% is excellent. 41 to 55% is roughly average. 56 to 70% is higher than average, but may not be cause for alarm depending on the specific goal of the website. Anything over 70% is disappointing for everything outside of blogs, news, events, etc. Okay, so obviously the lower the better, but there's kind of a range there that you want to keep track of, and if you start to get outside of that range, you want to reevaluate how long people are staying on your website and some of these other things I'm going to talk about here. So basically, some bounce rate is, just to recap, somebody goes to your website, they look at one page, and they leave, right? They don't look at other pages on your website. So here are some things that you can do immediately right now to lower that bounce rate so you have a better bounce rate, all right? And these are things that we actually didn't do until this past year on our physical fitness website because we started before we knew what a bounce rate was. So now we have to go back to all of our blog posts and all of our pages and reconfigure and update all of our posts and pages to improve the bounce rate. Okay, so we're working on this, and our bounce rate is not, it's within that 56 to 70% right now for Physical Fitness Phoenix, but it's within that 41 to 55% for Financial Coach Academy because we really just launched that its own website earlier this year. Before that, we had it hosted in Physical Fitness Phoenix, and now it has its own domain host. So things to improve your bounce rate would be improve the readability, okay? Rather than long paragraphs, break them up, put bullet points in, make it more readable. You can read about other things, ways to make your posts and your pages more readable. You can Google that and find out more on that. Create a compelling call to action. So you have a button or two or three on your website where they click and they go to other web pages, okay? Within your domain. So click here to schedule your Eureka session. Click here to learn more about XYZ. It keeps them and makes them go to other pages within your website. You can also, have related posts or have multiple links to other pages on your site in the page. So, every a word that says budgeting, there's a hyperlink that you post within that word budgeting, so that when somebody clicks on budgeting, it takes them to your most popular other budgeting blog post or other budgeting, something else to do with budgeting. Multiple hyperlinks within each page that go to other pages on your website. Okay, at the bottom or of a blog post, you have related posts. So you have, here's how I budget, here's how to get out of debt. Right at the bottom, you say related post, hyperlink to here's how my tips to budget. Here's my tips on how to save on energy bills over the summer or the winter or whatever. So you have related post at the bottom of a page, and intermediately throughout your blog post, maybe have a larger font hyperlink that says read more on how to XYZ for something from your website. So you want to have big time interconnected interlinks throughout your whole website, from page to post to post to page and back and forth like that. Make sure you have good content, stuff that people really want to read, stuff that's really valuable. Make sure your site is mobile friendly. From what I've read, one of the bigger things that the Google SEO is actually looking for is that your mobile site is, your website is super mobile friendly, and they actually look at your mobile site, not your desktop site to begin with. So if your mobile site is really poor, you're going to have low SEO. So improve your mobile site and optimize that so it looks better and the links work really well in your mobile site. For every page that is a dead end, that's going to be a bounce rate. Okay, so make sure that, like I was saying before, you always have somewhere else that somebody can go from each page. So never just leave a page with no links to other of your most valuable and fabulous content laden pages. So always make sure that whatever blog post you have or page that you have multiple links that people can go through to learn more, or have really good content that they can read on as a click to another page. All right. Another thing that will really help this is that when you have a hyperlink, that it is set to open in a new window. That's going to help session duration, but it's also going to help decrease a bounce rate. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that when you're creating a hyperlink, that it doesn't open up in the same tab or the same window. It opens up to that link in a new window. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so that's kind of the major things to look for in this audience overview, right? One other thing that's really helpful, I like this visualization rather than kind of digging deeper in here, is that new visitor versus returning visitor, okay? So new visitor are people that are obviously new, have never been to your website before. Return visitors are people that have been to your website before. We want to have more and more return visitors. Actually, I looked at that backwards, but we want to have more and more returning visitors, because that means that they find your content valuable enough that they're going back for more, okay? There's no metric on what is ideal for this. I'd say that if Google Merchant has 25% returning visitors, I would go for that, okay? But you're always looking to improve that over time. And if it is getting higher and higher, it means that more and more people are coming back to your website and finding it valuable. The last thing, pages per session. Obviously, more is better for that. There's no benchmark or metric for that I can find, but you want to have more. So pages per session means that when I got on your website at 6 o'clock this morning, I visited on average 4.6 different pages. If you're looking at they're only at one page, that probably means your bounce rate is very, very high. Okay, so those two correlate. Okay, let's get into demographics, and we're just going to talk about here on demographics. Overview is just a perfect place to look at this. It's going to load, and it's going to tell us that for Google Merchandise anyways, 44.62% of their users are between 25 and 34 years old, and 70% of them are male, 30% are female. Excuse me. So as I'm looking at that, does that fall in line with our ideal client? So I think for our ideal clients, I'd say most of our financial coaching, 66% I think are typically female. 33% are male. So I look at this and like that. For some reason, I'm reaching more males than females, and that is not my ideal client. I need to change something. Okay, if our ideal client is probably within this 25 to 34, even 35 to 44 range. So that's looking good if this were our website. If you're a financial coach for people that are getting ready to retire, you want to have this where most of your clients are coming from, most of your audience is coming from, right? So that's just another way to pay attention to that. Something other things to look at. Interest is actually very interesting. So the first thing we can look at is this affinity category, which really is when somebody first starts looking at your website. That if you think about what a funnel marketing is, right? We're trying to get as many people as possible and then funnel them down to a conversion. So the people that really first start looking at my website, what are their interests? So for Google, they're shoppers and value shoppers, technology, media, lifestyle, and hobbies. These are kind of their interests, right? So that's what affinity means. But as we get into in-market segments, that really is as you get closer to they're becoming your actual client and converting them using your conversion goals within Google Analytics. What we really find is that our ideal clients that convert are more interested in business services, advertising and marketing, consumer electronics, employment, financial services, etc. So you can take this stuff and see that, you know what, for my marketing efforts, if I'm advertising on Reddit or Facebook or Google AdWords, which is a completely different animal, by the way, but Google, we really want to focus on people that are in business services, advertising and marketing, consumer electronics, and employment, rather than shoppers, people that are really into technology and media and entertainment and movie lovers, right? So that will tell you, and all this stuff will tell you when you're doing your marketing, who should you be really looking for? The people that are the people that are finding your website within your ideal client, and what should I target or who should I be targeting when I do my advertising? Geography is also very interesting. I'm just going to look at location here really fast because it can tell you, by country where they're coming from. So United States and then India and then the UK. Or I can get big into the city. If you're local and you only want to stay local and you're getting traffic and you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you're getting traffic from Mobile, Alabama, it's probably not good, right? So it'll tell you city-wise where most people are coming from. Okay, so that's, I think, for audience, the biggest things to look for. Now we're going to get into acquisition here and quickly go into overview. And really what this is telling us is where are your prospects coming from, okay? So are they just purely searching financial coach Phoenix, Arizona? 47% of our hits would be yes. Are they direct referrals? Are they, I don't even want to use the word referral, but are they directly typing in fiscalfitnessphoenix.com or financialcoachacademy.com? 18.6% are. Are they a referral from a blog post? Are they a paid search if you're using Google AdWords or that type of thing? Are they coming from social media, etc.? Okay, so you can take a look at this and find out that this specific Google Analytics site, organic search is huge for them as far as getting people onto your website, right? But this is what's really interesting to me is that if you look at their referral is third on the list with almost 20%, but this is the conversions. They have the highest conversion rate from referrals, not from organic search. Does that make sense? So look at, most people get to their site from organic search, not from referrals, but most people that are referrals are the ones that are actually converting. So you can use that to your benefit as well. So if you're, getting a lot of conversions from social media, but they're fifth on your list of how often they get there, you really want to focus your efforts on social media. Great. Behavior. So that's really much what acquisition means. Now we get into behavior. We already talked about bounce rate quite a bit. You can see even more here. Look at some graphs here. A lot of the same information that was on the overview, the homepage, is here as well. But this behavior overview will also tell you what specific pages are looked at the most. So for Google merchandise, it's this page. The second most viewed one is this one, etc. down the line. So you can see that. You know, and for us, it's really eye-opening because we have a really high page view rate of a couple different blog posts that have been around for 10 years by now, and we didn't realize that. And you can click on this and dig a little bit deeper and find out that it's coming from a Pinterest post from 7 years ago. So, oh my gosh, Pinterest, duh, I need to start all my blog posts using Pinterest as a new search engine. So you can really start to play around with this and find out where people are looking at your most viewed pages and start to emphasize that too. Let's see, behavior flow, content. This is where I wanted to go. So this is just a little more detailed view of looking at the pages and what has the most views, but also you can look at the highest bounce rate. So, you know, people are going to their homepage first, but they're not bouncing quite a bit. But people that are doing this shop by brand from YouTube, whatever that website is, has a fairly higher bounce rate. So, you know, the value is pretty low. So you can kind of see, you can dig a little bit deeper, get a little more advanced. But I think that just looking at these websites, the pages that you have that are the most viewed, will help you figure out, you know what, I don't want people looking at that page, or man, this page is really low, but I think that's the best page. You can go back and add some more content to it, update it, add some more links to it. It's going to put it higher on your list. Okay, finally, conversions is, and somebody was within this, you know, within our event, was talking about conversions. What are they? What are goals? How do you set goals? What do you look for? And basically, a goal is a conversion. Okay, so a conversion would be, are they on your site and doing, basically, are they paying you, or a goal that you have that you want to track, and you want to track the funnel from start to finish. So a conversion for us would probably be if they schedule a free 15-minute Q&A session, if they schedule a Eureka session, if they schedule, you know, they subscribe to a newsletter, or they subscribe to a webinar. That would be a goal of a conversion. Okay, so you really want to think about, how do I get paid, and reverse engineer that to how they get to your website, and then from there, how do they get to conversion, right? So if my goal is that they schedule a Eureka session, how do I know that they scheduled a Eureka session? Okay, so we don't do this on our Google Analytics, so I'm going to use this one from this demo. But think about it this way: either you're using Acuity, which syncs to your goals. That didn't click there. There we go. So we can look at some of their goals. And I really have no concept of what these are for us. But say that you have, my goal is somebody books a Eureka session. Well, how do you know that somebody books a Eureka session? Either you use a scheduling software like Calendly or Acuity, which do have their own built-in integrations with Google Analytics, and you can do some more searching on that. So anytime somebody clicks on Acuity and schedules, it will automatically send something and create in a created goal in Google Analytics. That's a little more advanced than what I want to talk about right now. But I think the easier way to do this is have them go to a secret website that's a thank you page for registering. So you know how when you have somebody schedule something, you can have it redirect to another page rather than their built-in thank you page? Well, you create a page on fiscalfitnessphoenix.com, right? That once they schedule and click send and they pay our fee, they automatically get redirected to fiscalfitnessphx.com/thank you, okay? And that is a hard facts website that they will be able to track on Google Analytics, okay? So you create a website, you know, a web page that says that they automatically redirects once they schedule that goal, and Google Analytics sees that. On that website, you say, thank you so much for scheduling your Eureka session. Be on the lookout for an email. Here are some other links for more information. Here's what to expect. Whatever information you want on there, it's the same stuff that can actually be in that email, but we want a separate individual web page, I should say, that you've created in your domain so that Google Analytics can see that, yes, only people that schedule a Eureka session will get access to that page. So only people that have scheduled a Eureka session will be looking at that page. So other ways to do it, if you can't redirect to a separate page, is in your confirmation email, you say, please click here to confirm. So you just have a link within that email that says, please click here to confirm your information. This is mandatory. I don't know. And then that link opens up to that secret page that I was talking about, right? So either way, you want your Eureka session or your webinar participant or somebody that is a prospect that is now you've converted to whatever your goal is to click and go to a specific website, okay? So, any questions so far? So to set up a goal, you're going to click on the admin, this little gear settings, whatever you want to call this, go over to, actually, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go to my other account here. Then I want to go to goals. Okay, then I want to click new goal. There are many ways that you can do this depending on what systems you use. That really depends on the systems that you use, the website you use, the if you use Acuity or Calendly or another scheduling software, or you have you're selling a book and selling a book is a conversion, right? So really, I think that we can do, so say I want somebody to, we're tracking a Eureka session. So register online, sign up for a class or schedule an appointment. Yes. Okay, continue. And this name would be Eureka scheduled. And this is important because these are other things that the Google Analytics will be looking for, but destination is what we want. And that is a specific page that is being tracked by Google. Continue. And then now here is where you would put the HTML, or the URL would include thank_you, because that secret page that you direct people to, that we're tracking, that only Eureka session schedulers, is that right? Participants would get to would be physicalfitnessphx.com/thank_you. That's what I've named that page. That's the actual URL, right? So it equals thank_you. You can also be specific if you have other ways that you convert people. Maybe it gets a little complicated. So just create that URL for your confirmation page that says thank_you or registration, thank you for your registration, whatever you want to call it, and specifically name it this because it equals thank you. Okay, the value, this is very important because it's going to help you track how much money you're making per conversion, per page view, and you can keep tracking that. So say your Eureka session is $3.95. Every time somebody gets to that thank you page, that means that they've paid that $3.95. There you go. Okay, so you also want to be able to track it in your sales funnel. So what is your specific sales funnel that people are getting to conversion? So the first thought that I would have is that it's my main page first, which is physicalfitnessphx.com/main, which is not, but that's okay. And then the next step that they could get there would be, let's see, work with us. And then it's .com/workwithus, whatever that specific web page is. The next step might be how to schedule /how to schedule, and then finally the last step would be thank underscore you. Now, none of these should be required because they might actually land on work with us. So you don't have to worry about them being required. And then save. Okay, so now you have a goal that over time is going to track how people from when they land on your website, that takes the specific steps to schedule your Eureka session, and they pay you that money to see where your funnel is working and how it's working. And it's a goal that you have, and it's going to track it from beginning to end to see how effective your conversion rate is, if they're skipping steps, if you're losing them at a specific page. That's what's huge, is that if you keep seeing people drop off at a certain page, you have to adjust that page so it's working better for you, okay? So that's really the basics of a goal or a conversion. So you can tinker around with that, create some different goals based on what is your end result that is a conversion for you. So is it a session scheduled? Is it a phone call? Is it a webinar? Is it a newsletter sign up? Is it a book purchase? What is it that's your end goal of having a website? And create a goal with a funnel to see how they're getting to that goal. And if they're achieving it, if they're stopping off at a certain point, you can use that to kind of help you recreate and reconfigure so it's more efficient, okay? Any questions so far? I've kind of gone through everything I think that is the most important for basic Google tutorials. I have two more things, and so hopefully you can see this. I'm going to be sharing this now. Yeah, cool. So I've created this Google Analytics dashboard, which I'm going to give you a blank copy that you can download in the files of Financial Coaches Unite. So that's yours for free to get and use. And while Google Analytics is great, but everything is all over the place, right? So you want to look at page views and bounce rate and referral sources and behavior and traffic and conversions and all that kind of stuff, but you have to look at 5 different pages to get all that information. Well, what I like to do is create this spreadsheet, compile all that stuff 10 minutes a month. At the end of the first of the month, I'll go back and look at July. September 1st, I'm going to look back at August and fill all this information in, and I can see, and this is our actual numbers for Financial Coach Academy, that we're having fewer and fewer page views over time, but our users are actually going up just a little bit. Our bounce rate is actually all over the place, but it's getting better than what it was. I know it's getting better. Our new visitors are about the same, but our returning visitors are up. So you can just at a glance see how your metrics are doing. This is what I'm really proud of, is that over time, our search SEO has improved. April, we had 60 people that searched for financial coaching or whatever it was, and now we're up to 160 in 4 months. So that's, you can kind of see the trends over time easily. So you'll get a copy of that, just a blank copy of that. One other cool thing that you can subscribe to, which is free, is called Quill Engage. You can see that right here. And Quill Engage is a free service that their basic is free anyways, that syncs your Google Analytics page, and you get one free. So if you have multiple websites, you have to pay for these reports. Basically, they give you a report at the end of each week of how things are doing, and it kind of puts it in words for you. So you can see our Fiscal Fitness Phoenix, the week of July 16th to the 22nd, had 731 page views. The average time was just under 2 minutes, which is actually going up. The average bounce rate is 70, which is not great, but it's getting better. And then it gives you kind of some feedback and some, Pinterest.com were the new referrals that drove the most traffic last week. So a couple sessions from Pinterest, new sessions rose. So it can just give you some basic breakdown of what's happened in the past week for your analytics. It's just a great free service to use. So that's called QuillEngage.com. You can sign up for free, use that. Awesome. Okay, so before I sign off here, any specific questions that anybody has on Google Analytics? I'll just stay on for a minute. While you're either asking your questions or following along, let's see, I'll go back to this too so you can get a better idea. Reminders, Financial Coach Academy Live starts September 5th. We have one seat left. So make sure you take advantage of that, financialcoachacademy.com for that. FinCon is September 26th through the 29th, I believe, in Orlando. So if you're going there, I will see you there. We'll be at all the events, but also we have a Financial Coaches Happy Hour specifically for everybody in our community that are financial coaches to come and hang out, have some drinks, eat some food, share some stories, say hi, meet people that we've been talking to for months here online. And that's at the Pub Orlando on Thursday the 27th. Whatever the Thursday is, the event is in the Facebook group here. 7 p.m. at the Pub Orlando. We will see you there. That's going to be a great time. Put on your calendars April 26th and 27th, Financial Coaching Symposium in Phoenix, Greater Phoenix area. The venue is still to be determined, but we're going to find an awesome venue that's close to some fun things. Enjoy the weather. What else? Any other questions? Doesn't look like it. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Hopefully you learned a lot. And if there's no more questions, I will talk to you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions within the group, and I'll be coming back in here to answer any more questions that you have if you weren't able to watch live. Thank you guys so much. We'll be talking to you soon, and keep on being out there and doing good work for your clients and for financial coaches. Bye-bye.